TEGUCIGALPA, riding around with the Fusina, which is a newly built initiative from the president, a military task force that is patrolling cities around this country to clean up gang violence and drug trafficking. The Fusina is a national security force that combines military and police personnel. So far, they've arrested 6,000 gang suspects and seized more than 9,000 illegal firearms.
Pero ahorita lo están verificando por el sistema si han fugado o si llevan algún tipo de arma o llevan droga en la mochila.
Over the course of a single week, they execute hundreds of raids and traffic checkpoints and thousands of random searches, which authorities believe has been essential in helping reduce homicides by more than 30% in the last few years. These units have their eyes on two targets, the 18th Street Gang and the infamous MS-13. Both of these groups are actually founded in the US by young Central American immigrants, wreaking havoc across Los Angeles in the early 90s. Because so many gang members were undocumented, American authorities began deporting convicted gang members en masse. Tens of thousands of these seasoned gangsters ended up back in their home countries, where they reformed their ranks and began to thrive under weak governments profoundly ill-equipped to handle them. Today, their operations in Central America are so violent that Attorney General Jeff Sessions has said MS-13 could qualify as a terror organization, putting them in the same class as Al-Qaeda and ISIS.
MS-13 motto is kill, rape, and control. That's their motto.
Oscar Álvarez Guerrero served as a Minister of Public Security and saw the rise of these American gangs in Honduras.
When they came from US, they were the heroes. This guy who left and 5 years later came back a different guy, and they want to be like him. I want to have these pants, I want these tattoos, I want la vida loca. What they do now, they are kidnapping, extortion, drug trafficking, human trafficking. They have infiltrated the police. These hardcore gang members are killing machines.
Here in Honduras, the gangs don't only target each other. Near the height of the violence, almost 500 Honduran civilians were being killed each month. In our first trip, no matter who we spoke with, the response was the same. The gangs were making the country unlivable.
Donde yo vivo no me siento seguro. En los últimos 2 años he cambiado de 3 colonias y aquí no se puede.
El Dios de ellos es Satanás. Satanás ha venido a matar, a hurtar y a destruir. Muerte.
Tal vez me matarían, hasta con mi familia la agarrarían. En Honduras, las pandillas son las que mandan.
Record numbers of Hondurans began fleeing from the relentless violence, making their way north through Mexico to the United States. But what was most shocking was that for all the bloodshed and misery they've caused, life for the criminals themselves was relatively easy, even when they wound up behind bars. It's like a party in here. They're selling snacks, you can play pool. There's girls in here. How is this a prison? I don't understand it. From right inside the prison, gang leaders can still do what they want. Give orders to subordinates, get visits from their girlfriends, and smuggle cell phones, drugs, and guns. Security and regulations were so lax that prisoners ran full-scale businesses where they could make goods and sell them for profit. This is a shoe factory inside of this prison. It's basically like a working city. I've never seen anything like it. It says Puma. As long as you weren't on a gang's hit list, life in the prison wasn't much of a hardship at all.
It's like a family. You know, this is my family now. I feel more protected right here than everywhere else.
But now, under President Juan Orlando Hernández, things are starting to change.
Es vergonzoso para una nación llegar a ser titulado el país más violento en la faz de la tierra. Porque buena parte del problema de la inseguridad en Honduras ha tenido que ver con las prisiones. desde las cárceles hondureñas se ha venido generando una enorme cantidad de delitos dentro de las cárceles. Entonces, por eso era fundamental romper ese eslabón de la cadena del crimen organizado.
His plan is to drastically reform the prison system and put the teeth back into the threat of incarceration.
Son nuevas instalaciones, uso de tecnología, nuevo personal. También, en la medida que el ser humano sabe que si comete una falta o delito, hay consecuencias.
ILAMA Penitentiary is the first in a new wave of U.S.-style maximum security prisons, where guards can closely monitor the inmates' movements and communication. But ILAMA is more than a lockup. It's a message to lawbreakers.
En los próximos minutos inicia la operación de traslado de 50 privados de libertad. Estarán siendo trasladados al Pozo.
Authorities allowed us to go along with them as they conducted a wave of transfers from the older prison to the new Supermax facility. Tensions are high right now. These guys have no idea how much their lives are about to change. Okay, that's our first guy. We were able to ride with the lower security prisoners as they were transported by bus. The high-asset violent offenders travel by reinforced personnel carriers. Going to a new U.S.-style penitentiary on the edge of town. We're about to go into the maximum security wing of this new prison. Soon, all of the hard criminals will be transported here. But right now, there are about 60 guys who are some of the worst of the worst. These inmates had been placed a few months earlier, and President Hernandez gave us special permission to interview the locked-up gang members. Tell me about the new conditions in this new prison for you. Are they better or worse than they used to be?
No hay nada de sol, no hay sol, sol que caliente el cuerpo, que nos queme la cara y todo, no existe el sol.
Aquí nosotros supuestamente somos los más peligrosos como se dicen, pero si se dice eso tenemos que tener un área donde poder trabajar para cambiar nuestra mente.
La visita, no los han dado visitas, ¿no? ¿Me entiendes? No los han dado nada.
While inside, we were given the rare opportunity to meet with two of the 18th Street Gang's most powerful leaders, convicted of weapons and extortion charges. They'd originally been housed in the prison we went to on our first visit, but now they were feeling the weight of incarceration in a whole new way.
Todos tenemos nuestros errores, ¿me entiendes? Y hemos cometido faltas y le hemos fallado al pueblo hondureño, le hemos fallado, pero también le pedimos una dispensa, una disculpa al pueblo hondureño también.
No sabemos por qué razón o motivo nos tienen acá, no sabemos ni cuánto tiempo y además, pues como le estaba diciendo, los tienen como conejillos de India, haciendo show político.
Esto lo hacemos de desperdicio, de la bolsa de agua de desperdicio. Llévelo.
Esto lo hacemos.
De bolsa lo hacemos. Llévaselo.
Te lo regalamos. Es mío, te lo regalo.
Yeah.
Now, with a large number of gangs leadership behind bars and crime in Honduras dropping each year, the authorities here in Honduras believe that their efforts in police and prison reform are really working. Much of this success is dependent on Honduras's relationship with the United States, which during the Obama administration provided hundreds of millions of dollars in police and military aid, raising the question of what will happen with U.S. policy moving forward.
And we will build the wall as sure as you are standing there tonight. We need the wall.
The bulk of the new administration's plan to disrupt gangs like MS-13 is to build a wall on the southern border, which would cost about $70 billion. But President Hernandez believes it's more effective and more affordable to attack the problem at its source. If there was a suggestion of not continuing the aid here, what would your explanation of saying why it's important for the U.S. to continue that aid?
Se ha estimado que entre el 70 y el 80% de los actos delictivos en la región de Centroamérica, Colombia y México, tienen que ver con el narcotráfico. Pero el narcotráfico es solamente una cara de todo este monstruo que tiene un pie en Estados Unidos y la otra cara del tráfico de dólares, de armas y de personas. Yo le decía a unos líderes en Washington que mientras Honduras y Centroamérica fuera violenta, no hubieran oportunidades para su gente, Estados Unidos iba a vivir en un gran riesgo. Una Centroamérica en paz, próspera, con oportunidades, nuestra gente se va a quedar aquí y eso es una buena inversión para Estados Unidos. La fortaleza de las instituciones en Honduras es fundamental para la seguridad de Estados Unidos. Entonces creo que debemos de ser socios.